Hey everyone, welcome back to That Plumbing Podcast. I'm Brandon the Plumber, and this week we're going to kind of talk about three problems that I see in the service plumbing field. Now, I've tried to record this episode a few times, and it kind of degraded into this like rant bitching session about the industry, and I'm really trying to avoid that. I'm not trying to point blame. I'm not trying to be, just a guy on the internet complaining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out each problem individually and then offer my opinion on how we got to where we were and how we can change it. When I say we, I mean specifically the technician, how I personally plan on changing it, and also how other technicians can help change it as well, and industry leaders and business owners if they listen to this. And so number one, I think, falls directly on us as the technicians, and that is that we do not see our own value. We do not understand how much our skills are worth right now. We're kind of going through this weird transition phase where a lot of plumbers are starting to retire, and they're going to continue retiring. The boomers, the older guys. I just Googled it. The average age of a plumber is 41. So there's a lot of people that are much older than that, and I've seen multiple articles that says that most plumbers, most trades in general, skilled trades, so electricians, HVAC, a lot of these older plumbers are already started retiring, and over the next 5 years will mostly retire. So that's going to create a vacuum where a lot of the knowledge leaves the industry, and people still need plumbing. I mean, these cities, they're going to run regardless of who's retiring. And so when they go to try and find a plumber, if there's only a handful, if there's already not enough technically, prices go up. And that alone, that supply and demand mechanism, which is basic economics, is a large part of the reason why companies are charging what they are. Now, there's some companies out there taking advantage and ripping people off. Of course, but it's probably not to do with their price for repair. It's probably more to do with the way that they sell their products, or their services, whether it's like through scare tactics or making the problem seem worse than it is. That's bad. But pricing, I mean, like say $500-$600 per hour, I've heard of some companies out here being. It is a lot of money, but it is worth it. That is what we're worth as plumbers. We're approaching $500 per hour in bigger cities. And since I'm in Phoenix, the fifth largest city, a lot of my perspective is going to come from that market. And so as technicians, plumbers, we need to understand and be confident in our pricing and know why we are getting paid what we're getting paid and know that we're worth it. I mean, we are essential. We are essential. You cannot have a civilization without fresh water going to it and wastewater being taken away. It just doesn't work. I mean, for the longest time, I felt guilty for how much companies were asking me to charge, and I fought it for a long time. I was trying to, give the customer a deal, trying to be empathetic towards them and think, what about me? How would I feel in that position? But over time, I've come to understand that as an in-demand, skilled trade profession, I deserve to be paid a healthy living wage. And I'm not talking paycheck to paycheck. I'm talking being paid where I have benefits, I have retirement, I have insurance. Because a lot of these people, like corporate people with more money, upper middle class, whatever, they have these benefits. They have that lifestyle where they don't have to worry and they can live comfortably. Why can't we as plumbers? Especially since we provide an essential service where there are not a lot of people willing to do it. And so a guideline that I personally like to use is 6 figures. How can I reach 6 figures? How much do I have to sell? If it's hourly, how much do I have to work? Because I believe we are worth 6 figures. Once we know what we're doing, once we're not an apprentice anymore, once we can, go out to houses and basically solve problems, not many callbacks, 100K minimum is definitely doable. And I think we should all be striving to collectively push the industry in that way, where technicians, demand, sort of, we know what we're worth, and that is kind of the median where we should be. That's my opinion. And so what I'm doing to try and help that is this podcast, is get the word out there, get the message, talk to people, help other technicians and potential new plumbers understand how valuable we are. And plumbing should be an honorable profession. We need to work to change the image of the way that other people, like outsiders, customers, clients, see the industry, and how potential plumbers see the industry. And it's really, we need to move away from this idea of overweight plumber with his butt crack showing, smelling like cigarettes. Like that's image is killing us. And the way to remedy it is to attract people to the industry that are not like that. People who are looking to improve their life, to have a career, to make a good living wage, to work in a respectable field. Get those people in here, and then in the meantime, we change our perspective and understand that we are worth a lot of money. And each individual market is going to determine what that is, but we definitely need to stop selling ourselves short as technicians to both employers and customers. All right, then, number 2, the attitude of learning in the trades. And this isn't specifically just the plumbing. It seems to be the trades in general. I used to work for a company that did HVAC as well, so I've spent a lot of time, I don't do it anymore, but like in the Facebook groups or Reddit or online forums or wherever, these plumbing groups where if you post a question, there's going to be at least one person in there that is completely a dick to you and making you try to feel so stupid because you have a question as a plumber. There's not like a school for plumbing that you go to. It's not like a 4-year degree. There's not a 2-year degree. And most of the value, I think, in plumbing, most of the learning experiences come from when something does not go right and you have to figure out how to fix it. What happens when a cartridge breaks off inside that Moen valve body and you have to try and extract it. Like I said earlier, what if the copper stretches on the angle stop? It's being able to overcome the unforeseen is what is most valuable. And so it always gets me so frustrated when I see someone asking for help in a chat, in a group, and it's just a dog pile of guys trying to make them feel stupid. That is wrong. That is not how we're going to attract new people to the field. If you have guys that are just getting in and they're excited about learning and they go and they ask a question and they just are meant to feel stupid, it's unprofessional and it's just wrong. This is likely to be the same guys that are in that broke fix mentality, think sales is evil and not open to new ideas. In order to overcome this, we have to strive to create an environment of learning. And so what I'm doing personally is, again, this podcast to try and create a community. Speaking of, the podcast is now on YouTube. So if you search for Brandon the Plumber or That Plumbing Podcast, you'll find it on YouTube. And go ahead and leave a comment, subscribe, do all those things. But this is the main way I'm going to try and start changing the attitude when it comes to learning. And finally, we have culture. Unlike the other two, culture is one of the ones that it really requires the owners of your company to buy in. Do they believe in the idea of service over sales, education over persuasion? They don't want to just go into a house and fix what's broken. Do they give you the time that you need to properly run each call and diagnose the entire system? Are they giving you metrics for you to go by? Are they providing training? Are they providing coaching? Are they creating an environment where you feel like you're excited to go to work? Do you feel like you're actually part of a community? Do you have connections with your coworkers? Do you feel like you're all working towards a greater vision that the company is trying to provide? A great example of this is A1 Garage Door Services, Tommy Mello. Check out his podcast. He's everywhere. His mentality as a leader is absolutely inspiring. He gets fired up. He's pumped up about garage doors. He attracts people who want to better themselves into his company, and the people who want to do better are incentivized to succeed. It's really crazy. He has a training center out here in Phoenix where he'll come and put you up for a month. He bought like an entire motel complex, and for a month, he puts you up in the hotel and teaches you everything about garage doors. I mean, that is just amazing. If I wasn't so deep into plumbing, I would consider going check him out and seeing what he has to offer. And Tommy Mello is kind of like an outlier. He's an example of extreme good in that way. So in the opposite end, you have this owners that just don't talk to you and just turn you loose and don't make any effort whatsoever to get to know you or to know what matters to you and help you achieve your goals. Because if you can help your employees achieve their goals, they will help you achieve your goals as a company. You send a technician who is underpaid, overworked to a house versus someone who is coached, who is learning, who has goals, is motivated to do better and provide better service and has the time to slow down and talk to you and build that relationship. He's going to do absolutely better in every way than the guy that's just going in doing the broke fix. And that attitude starts with the owners or service manager. And so the podcast is intended to try and help that as well. Maybe an owner will listen to this or a technician will listen to this and then bring it to the attention of the owner. Maybe this will plant the seed in a technician's head that service over sales, education over persuasion is better than just going in and fixing whatever's broke for the cheapest. Educating and giving options. That's how you're going to see your ticket averages increase ethically, by providing a better service to the customer through slowing down, building rapport, diagnosing the entire system. So I think that about does it for this episode. I mean, basically what I'm trying to say is that we are awesome plumbers. We are valuable. We are undervalued by both ourselves and customers. And just the way the market is going is there's so much potential in the industry moving forward. So much. I think we're gonna get to a point where plumbers are making so much money that it's gonna cause an influx of people who who want to be plumbers come to the market. It's going to be, it could be 2 years, 3 years, I'm not exactly sure, but it's going that way. And hopefully through podcasts like this and ones like, Chris Fresh and Joe Casera, Tommy Mello, these different podcasts, these are great. Jared Williams is another good one. These are other plumbers and leaders in the service industry that kind of instill that service over sales mentality. So check them out if you want some other content to kind of help get into the mood or understand the perspective. You can always email me, Brandon, at thatplumbingpodcast.com. The podcast is now on YouTube. It's under Brandon the Plumber for the username, but if you look it up, you'll find it. And leave a comment. Get in touch. That's going to be probably the easiest way to get in touch with me and other people. There's a Facebook group up now with a chat, just kind of preparing for as we move forward. So everyone have a great day, and I will see y'all next time.